Your 30s can feel like sabay-sabay ang lahat. Career growth, family, housing, travel, parents, health, and future goals. Kaya madaling isipin na wealth building is something you will do kapag mas malaki na ang sweldo. Pero this decade is exactly when a clear system matters most. The goal is not to look rich by 40, the goal is to enter your next decade with stronger cash flow, fewer fragile obligations, diversified assets, higher earning power, and more freedom to choose. Hindi ito shortcut or get rich quick plan. It is a sequence. Know your numbers, protect the downside, remove expensive debt, automate investing, increase income, and gradually own assets that can grow or produce cash flow. As we go through the roadmap, focus on order, not perfection. You do not have to complete every milestone this year. Start from your real financial position, choose the bottleneck, and build a repeatable system. Your 30s are not late. They are a powerful decade for deliberate compounding. Why are your 30s so important? Because you usually have enough adult experience to understand money mistakes, but still have many earnings and investing years ahead. The decisions you repeat now can influence not only your 40s, but retirement and even the options available to your family. Compounding is not limited to investment returns. Skills compound, reputation compounds, good health habits compound. A strong savings rate gives you more capital. The capital buys diversified assets. Those assets may create more choices. The reverse also compounds. Expensive debt, lifestyle inflation, neglected health, and poorly understood obligations can consume future income. Do not panic if you are starting at 35 or 39. The usual the useful question is not why didn't I start earlier? It is what system can I start now and repeat for years? BSP Financial Education materials emphasize financial planning as assessing your current situation, defining long term goals, and choosing strategies to reach them. That is our roadmap: honest baseline, clear priorities, and consistent execution. Many people start with the exciting part: stocks, property, or a business without protecting the foundation. Kapag may emergency, napipilitan silang umutang, magbenta at the wrong time, or stop investing. Wealth building works better in sequence. First, protect cash flow through a realistic budget, emergency reserve, appropriate insurance, and clear responsibilities. Second, stabilize, control expensive debt and recurring obligations. Third, grow, automate diversified investing, and continue improving your earning power. Fourth, own, gradually acquire productive assets, intellectual property, or businesses that are not fully dependent on your daily labor. Hindi ibig sabihin na strictly one stage at a time. You might invest a small amount while paying debt or build a side asset while completing your emergency fund. But the priority should be clear. Do not chase returns while one medical event or job interruption can destroy the plan. Think of your salary as the first engine. Every payday should fund today's life, protect tomorrow, and buy a small piece of your future. Step 1 is financial clarity. Open your accounts, loan statements, investment records, and property documents. List what you own, what do you owe, kung ano yung utang mo, and the realistic value of each item. Net worth is assets minus liabilities. But do not inflate values just to feel better. Use conservative estimates and update regularly. Next, calculate monthly cash flow. What enters after taxes and deductions? What leaves for housing, food, transport, family support, debt, subscriptions, and lifestyle? Then identify your true surplus and savings rate. Hindi ito para ma-judge ang sarili mo. It is a dashboard for decisions. Create 3 goals with dates: a near-term goal, a 5-year goal, and a long-term freedom goal. Translate each into a monthly amount. If the required amount is unrealistic, you now know whether the solution is more time, lower cost, higher income, or a different goal. A financial planning calculator can help organize goals, saving capacity, and obligations. We might create a free spreadsheet. Just visit philmentors.com/free para i-upload namin doon pag gumawa kami ng simple spreadsheet na enough para malista mo or makita mo ang mga diniscuss ko a while ago. Before aggressive investing, protect the plan. Your emergency reserve is for genuine disruptions, job loss, urgent repairs, family emergencies, or medical costs not otherwise covered. The right size depends on income stability, dependence insurance, health, and how quickly you can reduce expenses. Keep it accessible and separate from long term investments. Next, ensure the risks you cannot comfortably absorb. That may include health, life, disability, property or liability protection depending on your situation. Insurance is not automatically an investment strategy. Start with the risk you are transferring, the exclusions, benefit amount, premiums, and whether the policy remains affordable. Verify that providers and agents are properly authorized. Also, update beneficiaries, emergency contacts, account inventory, and basic estate documents. If you support parents, a spouse, children, or siblings, discuss what happens if your income stops. Hindi ito pagiging negative. It is responsible planning. The objective is not to buy every product. It is to identify the financial shock that could destroy your roadmap. Then, use reserves, coverage, and documentation to reduce that risk. Expensive consumer debt can quietly cancel the benefits of investing. If the interest and fees on a balance are higher than the return you can reasonably expect without guarantee, the debt deserves priority. Start by stopping new balances. Remove saved cards. Reduce spending triggers. And build a small buffer so the next emergency does not return to credit. Choose a repayment method. The avalanche method attacks the highest effective interest rate first and is usually mathematically efficient. The snowball method attacks the smallest balance first and may help motivation. Either can work if you continue. Pay required minimums on every account, then concentrate extra cash on one target. Before refinancing or consolidating, compare the total cost, fees, collateral, payment period, and what happens if you miss a payment. A lower monthly payment can still mean a higher total cost. Most important, when a loan ends, do not absorb the freed payment into lifestyle. Redirect it automatically to the next debt, emergency reserve, or investment. That is how debt repayment becomes a primary or permanent increase in wealth building capacity. Once the foundation is stable, make investing automatic. Schedule contributions just after payday, so investing happens before discretionary spending. Start with an amount you can sustain during an ordinary, stressful month, not an impressive amount you will stop after 3 paydays. Diversification matters because no single company, property, country, or asset class is guaranteed to win. Depending on sustainability or suitability and access, a long term portfolio may include broad equity exposure, fixed income, government securities, retirement products, cash for near term goals, and perhaps property or business assets. The mix should reflect your timeline, liquidity needs, and ability to tolerate losses. The PSE notes that exchange traded funds can give investors diversified stock exposure without actively selecting and monitoring many individual companies. But ETFs and all market investments can still fall in value. Understand fees, tracking, liquidity, taxation, and what the fund actually owns. Set a review schedule, perhaps quarterly for contributions and annually for allocation, rather than reacting to every headline. Automation handles behavior. Diversification manages concentration. Patience gives the plan time. Not every peso belongs in volatile growth assets. Money for a home down payment, tuition, business launch, or major family need within the next few years may need a more stable bucket. The correct choice depends on when you need the money, how much loss you can tolerate, and whether early access is possible. Options may include suitable deposit products, Pag-ibig MP2, money market or bond funds, and government securities such as retail treasury bonds. These are not identical. MP2 has its own eligibility, dividend, maturity, and withdrawal rules. RTBs naman are peso-denominated government debt securities offered under specific terms and periods. Funds and deposits also differ in guarantees, fees, risks, and liquidity. Verify current official information rather than relying on viral posts or last year's rate. Read the product document, understand taxes and charges, and keep emergency money separate. A useful system is goal based buckets: cash for emergencies, stable instruments for medium term goals, and diversified growth assets for long horizons. This prevents you from selling a long term investment at a bad time just because a near term bill arrived. Budgeting creates discipline, but earning power can dramatically change the speed of the roadmap. In your 30s, a promotion, specialized skill, business capability, or carefully chosen career move may add more to long term wealth than obsessing over tiny daily expenses. Choose one skill that the market already rewards and that fits your strengths: leadership, sales, data, AI finance, project management, communication, licensed profession, or an industry specific capability. Do not collect certificates without evidence. Build projects, measurable results, a portfolio, testimonials where appropriate, and relationships with people who know your work. Then convert value into compensation. Prepare for negotiation. Apply for higher responsibility roles. Build a consulting offer where permitted, or develop a product if you are employed, especially in government or regulated profession. Check conflict of interest, confidentiality, outside work, and intellectual property rules. Never use employer time or protected information. Set an annual earning power target and a learning budget. The objective is not endless hassle. It is to increase the value produced per hour so more income can flow toward protection, investing, and assets. Your salary can remain the main engine while you gradually build an asset outside it. The asset may be a digital product, evergreen content, licensing income, a small rental, a professionally managed business, or an investment portfolio. What matters is ownership and a process that can eventually work without your constant attention. Choose one model that fits your available time, capital, skills, and legal constraints. Validate demand before spending heavily. Build the smallest version. Document, repeat tasks, automate delivery, or collection where practical, and outsource only after you understand the work. Track net income, not screenshots of gross sales. Subtract platform fees, taxes, refunds, maintenance, advertising, software, financing, and paid help. Also track your hours. If the net if the income disappears whenever you stop working, you created another job, not yet an asset. That may still be worthwhile, but design the next stage around system. Avoid jumping between trends. Commit to a 90-day experiment and use real evidence to stop, improve, or scale. The goal is not immediate escape from employment. It is reducing financial dependence on a single source over time. Property can provide shelter, stability, rental income, or long term appreciation. But it can also concentrate your wealth and consume cash flow. Do not buy only because real estate always goes up or because everyone in your 30s is expected to own a home. Start with purpose. Is it a home you can afford and expect to use for years? A rental with validated demand? Land with a realistic development plan? Then compute the full cost: the down payment, loan interest, taxes, insurance, association dues, repairs, vacancy, transaction costs, furnishing, and the opportunity cost of capital. Use conservative rent and appreciation assumptions. Stress test the payment job against job loss, higher rates, family changes, repairs, and lower occupancy. After the purchase, you should still have emergency liquidity and room to invest. If the property consumes every peso and all your borrowing capacity, it may reduce rather than increase freedom. Property is not automatically better than renting and investing the difference. Compare both paths based on location, duration, family needs, flexibility, and total cost, not social pressure. A decade roadmap removes the pressure to do everything at once. In the early phase, focus on financial clarity, emergency reserves, essential protection, expensive debt reduction, and the first automated investment. Your numbers may look small, but the system is the achievement. In the middle phase, you grow the engine, increase earning power, raise the automated contribution when income rises, diversify beyond one company or asset, and test one income producing asset outside your salary. Major purchases should pass the cash flow stress test. In the later phase, consolidate, review concentration, beneficiaries, insurance, tax records, property performance, retirement trajectory, and whether the side asset can be systematized. Build flexibility, the ability to change jobs, care for family, take a sabbatical, or invest in a larger opportunity without panic. These ages are examples, not deadlines. If you are 38 and still building the foundation, start there. If you are 31 with strong reserves, you may advance faster. Do not copy another person's stage. Build the next layer that makes your own plan more resilient. Here is your 90-day starting plan. In month 1, calculate net worth, cash flow, savings rate, debt cost, and essential coverage. Choose one measurable target, such as completing a starter emergency reserve, updating beneficiaries, or eliminating a specific balance. In month 2, automate. Schedule a payday transfer to the appropriate goal or investment, then redirect one unnecessary recurring expense or completed loan payment. Read official product information before investing and use only legitimate regulated providers or platforms. In month 3, increase the engine. Choose one valuable skill to develop, prepare a compensation conversation, or launch the smallest test of one income producing asset. Cap both cash and time so the experiment cannot damage your job, health, or family. Then conduct a 30-minute monthly review. Net worth, cash flow, contribution, debt, asset progress, and the next bottleneck. For practical Filipino money guides, accountability, and discussions with people working on the same journey, join the free PhilMentors online community at philmentors.com/free. Share your age, current stage, and the one milestone you will complete in the next 90 days. This presentation is for general, educational, and informational purposes only. It is not personalized financial, investment, legal, tax, accounting, insurance, employment, or real estate advice. The roadmap is a framework, not a promise that any particular strategy, investment, business, property, or product is suitable for you. All investing and business activity involves risk. Prices can fall, dividends and interest can change, customers can leave, property can remain vacant, equipment can fail, and income may be delayed or lost. Past returns, rates, sales, or other people's results do not guarantee future performance. Verify current official terms, fees, liquidity, taxes, permits, insurance coverage, exclusions, contracts, employer policies, platform rules, and the legitimacy of providers before committing money or personal information. Keep emergency liquidity and do not invest money you cannot afford to lose or lock away. For decisions with meaningful consequences, consult appropriately licensed or qualified financial, legal, tax, accounting, insurance, employment, and property professionals. PhilMentors in this content do not guarantee earnings, wealth, or financial independence. You remain responsible for your decisions, due diligence, compliance, and results.